this all takes some time. And I know you're pushing back against our industrial kind of like rush. I think that might be part of it. But what do you say to people who are like, Jill, this sounds great. Like, I would love to make my own stock. I would love to grow some vegetables. I would love to maybe even have chickens in my backyard or whatever. But I don't have any time. What do you say to that complaint?
Yeah, it's a common one. I think we're all busy as modern people. I definitely, as over the years, my life has morphed from just being the homestead mom to now I'm running businesses. I have entrepreneurial ventures. So contrary to what a lot of people think, I'm not just sitting around the house all day canning tomatoes in my apron. I'm just not. Like I live a very hybridized life of modern and old, and I like it that way, honestly. I need both parts of my life. And so like most people, I am also balancing child activities and business responsibilities with the rest of the things I want to do. And what I come back to over and over again is why I continue to do these old-fashioned things that do take time and effort, even though technically from an outside look in, I don't have time for it, is the benefits it brings me is worth it. And so when I really sink into that, I realize it's worth prioritizing. And I think we always can prioritize things that we find to have value in our lives. And so one of the ways I do that is we push back against some of the industrial paradigm by we do say no to certain things. Like we put our kids in activities, but not an activity every night of the week. And I know all families are different and there's lots of different considerations. I push back against that backseat culture where the kids are constantly being shuttled here and there. Again, we do some sports, we do some 4-H and things, but we try to be really intentional with that, which frees up more time for not only the kids to have free space where they can explore and create, but also it keeps our family feeling a little more sane and manageable. And so I try to be really careful how we schedule. And then I think the other piece is I've replaced a lot of the passive activities of leisure, like that are tend to be really consumption based, like watching Netflix or going out to movies or going shopping, right? That's how like a lot of people would relax or find their rest time. And I have learned to replace those, still do it sometimes. I'm not saying I'm a purist, but I replace a lot of that with gentle activities that are based around the homestead. And so I've learned that at night, when I'm tired, I have a choice. I could zone out on Netflix or I can go mill around in the garden. Not hard labor in the garden. I'm not like sweating. There's a time and place for that. I find that I'm more recharged. My cup is more filled when I choose to go out and mill around the garden in the evenings, gentle weeding, gentle pruning, checking on things versus just mindlessly consuming all the time. And so that's one of the ways I think just replacing that sort of leisure with a different sort of leisure gives us more time than maybe most people think is possible. Did I answer the question?
No, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I am completely with you. I'm maybe the coast equivalent of we're sandwiching the states and that saying that yes, we should be pushing back against this incredibly chock full schedule. That's if it's stressful for you, it's definitely stressful for your kids, and that it has detrimental effects for kids. I firmly believe that. And it sounds like though, to reply to what you're saying about doing sort of quiet activities like milling around the garden. I teach mindfulness. And mindfulness is a practice of practicing to intentionally be in the present moment and to intentionally let go to practice releasing our thoughts, releasing our worries, knowing that they will come back 10 bazillion times, but releasing them and then coming back to the present moment, allowing some ease, a practice of peace, cultivating that consciously, a practice of ease and peace in your life. And I'm hearing that is what you're doing in this like sort of quiet time. Is that right?
It is. It really is. Yeah. And I've often said, because I do have a cerebral career, if you want to call it that, with my online businesses. I'm answering emails. I'm checking social media. I'm podcast interview here, writing a blog post here. So my brain goes quickly. And there are times of the day that I love that. I love that challenge. But at the end of that, or if I do too many days of that in a row, I start to feel very scattered and very frazzled. And so I've often said, I go to the garden to bring myself back into my body. That's how I get back just to feel human. I feel like my adrenaline leaves, my breathing slows. And there's just something about, you can get the same effect absolutely by going for a walk or just being quiet outside. But there's something about mixing with plants and soil that I think it makes it even easier or more gratifying. And so, yeah, I really see now these days, I think back in the day, I started gardening because I wanted vegetables. And now I garden because it keeps me mentally healthy. It keeps me feeling grounded and centered. And the vegetables are a side effect.
Yeah, I think that we are missing that. We're animals on this earth, right? Like we're cells of the earth body. Like it's not like something that's really separate from us. I don't know if you've seen it, Jill, but there's these beautiful videos. I saw a video of, it was like really high up of people entering the water at the beach, right? And it was like people coming into the water, people coming out of the water. And it looked exactly like cells in like a human body, like just the cells entering, the cells leaving, and the blood flow and something like that. It was fascinating.
Yeah.
And I feel like that sometimes we get into a place where we have stress, and our society's answer to that is distract yourself on your phone. Like it'll feel good to scroll through Instagram. And sometimes I do that, but basically it adds more of that information, more scattered fusion, more ultimately like more stress where we're acclimating to that. I can really see we're acclimating to that. So it can be hard to just be in the kitchen, make something without listening to a podcast, or just be out in the garden without putting in our earbuds to do something else at the same time.